Starting off with our breaking news coverage from Ukraine, where lawmakers loyal to the president have gathered in the eastern city of Kharkov, declaring that local authorities must take control of their respective regions, bypassing any rulings from the capital. Let's get more live from RT's Maria Finoshina, who is in Kharkov. So, Maria, what exactly are those officials saying?
Well, Matt, the resolution that the representatives of the authorities of the eastern and southeastern Ukraine adopted here today after their emergency meeting here in the city of Kharkov says that since today they no longer obey the central authorities that they think are paralyzed, and since today local authorities will be a unique force in charge of all political decisions here on the ground. This resolution also says that there are huge doubts that all recent decisions and laws approved by the country's parliament are constitutional and deliberate. Although it was not yet particularly clear from this document whether local authorities here recognize or don't recognize these decisions and these laws. Well, this resolution in fact means a huge split of power here in the country, and of course this will add to the division that we already see not only in Ukraine but even here in the eastern part of the country. We are in Kharkov now, and it's known as a capital of the eastern Ukraine that traditionally supports the President Viktor Yanukovych, and it used to be a very unanimous region supporting more eastern policies than the policies of Western countries. But we see that today population here is divided. From one hand, they are afraid that opposition, including right-wing and all those radical elements, can come here from Kiev, and it's not very hard. It's less than 500 kilometers away from the capital, and we are hearing serious calls, mostly these messages sent from through social media, to stand up and to defend the city and the region. But from another hand, both politicians and ordinary people here on the ground are not totally happy with what Viktor Yanukovych is doing as a president, and particularly this region, again, mostly pro-eastern region than pro-western, is disappointed by the Europe broadened early poll deal that Viktor Yanukovych signed with the opposition earlier on Friday. And the vivid illustration of this division that we see here and we see in the entire country is this meeting that you can see, I hope, behind me. There are those who support the local authorities and even the president still here, but also there are those who call themselves opposition, and they say that they don't want to live in a country ruled by Yanukovych and his people. And so far it's peaceful, but no one can say where it's going to lead and how it may end, given all the tensions that we've seen already here in the country in the last months.
All right, RT's Maria Finoshina live for us in Kharkov, Ukraine. Thank you very much for that update. Well, if you look at the crowds in the center of the capital, Kiev, it looks like support for Yanukovych's resignation is overwhelming, but calls for his impeachment have been out there on the web for some time now. Let's take a look at how much response they've been getting so far. Now, this is a petition that you can see next to me here from anti-government activists that was launched back in December. It managed to get about 100,000 signatures so far, but it's a small margin of the total population of the country, which is about 50 million people. And as also can be seen on the petition itself, some of those who backed the impeachment didn't even live in Ukraine itself.